Hey everybody, David Pease here broadcasting from Studio Sequim. And if you're joining live, thank you for being here. We are going to open up some Scooby Doo packs, and in uh, true Saturday morning cartoon fashion, I went all the way. I've got my Fruit Loops and my milk, and I'm still in my pajamas, a little bit of bed head, but it's kind of laid down a little bit. My very special guest today is Jonathan Hagy. He is a collector and a player of the Scooby Doo uh, card game. We actually have a game already posted up on the Studio Sequim channel here, and he was able to come into a box of the Scooby Doo and the Aliens 2 expansion of this. That's kind of a tough one to find. But he was able to get it's an open box that still has 26 packs in it, so hopefully it wasn't cherry picked for any of the cool stuff, but we're going to find out. Let's bring Jonathan in right now. He's working on his desk camera, so we can see everything, but let's bring him in here. Jonathan, thank you for joining us. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Excellent, excellent. uh, Thank you very much for joining and for opening this box of boosters for us here. I've got my fingers crossed for you. This is an open box. There were a couple packs missing, but I've got my fingers crossed for you that you've got some foils in there, some rares, super rares. This is going to be fun. This is a great game that came out back in 2007. There was a base set, and then this expansion that Jonathan's about to open for us, and a lot of great cards. A comic book that came with it. Jonathan, you have that too, if I remember correctly. A promotional comic book, which was out there at the game stores for them to give out to try and promote the game. This is a real fun game. As I mentioned earlier, Jonathan and I have played a game. I played a game with Stephen Arvidsson too from Alien Investigations channel. And the reason we got into it is because it's so similar to the X-Files CCG, which, if you're a fan of my channel or you know Jonathan at all, we're pretty into it. We're kind of into the X-Files CCG a little bit. You know, we play it every once in a while. But very similar, made by the same guys, different publisher. This one, if I remember correctly, is Journeyman Press. You might want to correct me on that one, but yeah, they kind of took the X-Files game and scaled it back a little bit, but there are a lot of the same elements. So if you're familiar with that game, you would see a lot of similarities between the two games. There's the characters, there's different locations, there's and locations that directly correlate with the with sites in the X-Files, and witnesses are now called friends, and adversaries are monsters, and that kind of thing. So as Jonathan goes through the cards that he opens, you'll see these different elements there, and everything costs a certain amount of resources. Resources in the game are referred to lovingly as Scooby snacks, and you replenish those at the beginning of each round. And Joshua, thank you for joining us. Joshua is a friend of mine, and he is going to be joining me for some 24, the card game, on the channel here in not too long. We've already played a couple games offline to refamiliarize ourselves. But Jonathan, I am in my pajamas with my Fruit Loops, and you have the Scooby Doo playing on the TV back there. So I think we've got a classic Saturday morning cartoon theme going here. You understood the assignment and you got it going, so I appreciate that.
I didn't shave just for the occasion.
Yeah, well, look at me, right? I'm growing this goatee for a reason. I will say that, and that's you'll find out it's related to the Kevin Morris Mafia and that little thing I have going on. Another reference to the X-Files card game. That's hey, let's stop talking. Let's get right into it. Let's bring in your table, and then we're going to
There I am.
Hopefully I'm going to be able to. No, nobody wants to see that. There we go.
Let's see. I think I'm upside down.
Oh, yeah. We need to
Let's see if
reverse
I
the camera there.
get this thing to flip over the right way. Yeah. Well, that's what we want. Now I just need to. Let's see if I can get it to spin.
Very good. Now this is a pretty good size expansion. I'm madly clicking to get the card count here.
It's 100 card.
Oh, really? I've got my list has 139.
Really? Is that it's 100 basic cards, and then I think the others are like maybe the foils and the pop-ups.
And my list has promos too, so that's more than a few.
Let's see if I can get it to stay
there. Now, foil cards, my list here shows 7. And I'm not completely convinced of the accuracy of my card list here. So I want to say there's more than 7, but we'll find out. And let's get a count of the super rare and ultra rares real quick here as well. We're looking at 21 according to my list, and I keep adding that little caveat there because I'm not sure if that's entirely accurate. Surprisingly, resources regarding this game are a little difficult to find. I was even going through, I was going to have a little slide here to show some of the ultra rares and the foils that we'll be looking for when Jonathan opens his boosters. And a lot of the sites that I use, ccgtrader.net, Category 1 games, they don't even have pictures of the cards. You know, I'm just going to take over for a little bit while Jonathan works on his camera angles there. But yeah, you go to some of these sites that I visited to try and figure this out here. Yeah, so here they don't have images, and also with ccgtrader.net that I use, no images, but I'll be scanning. Mine later on for a different project, and hopefully I can help them out. So Scott at Category 1 Games, if you're watching or you check this out, call me. I'm going to get those images, and if I can help you out, I'll get those over to you, and you can put them up on your site. I'm going to bring back Jonathan here. I think he's good. How are we doing? You good to go?
I think I got it.
All right, boss.
Thought I had it. It flipped back over.
Okay, well, we'll let you stick with that. I have a few of the Alien expansion in my collection. I purchased a lot from a friend of mine, and he was generous enough to include some of those in there. So I know a few of these cards. I played a few of them as well in a couple of games that I've played, both online and offline. So it's you'll see a lot of similarities with the X-Files in those cards too. There's an abduction card, which is actually one of the super rares that is part of the Alien expansion. And I think, Jonathan, you are all set up.
Well, my camera shows it the right way, but it's not coming up the right way.
Yeah, when I look at the preview here, it's the letterbox, but when I bring the camera in, it's the the portrait.
Yeah, I don't know what because on mine it is right side up. Not sure what's going on there.
Well, that's just gonna have to be the way it is.
Well, let me try something else. Let's fiddle some more. Let's see what else I can try here. Let's try this.
Oh, there we go.
That'll work. That's even better.
That's all awesome. Right. So now we can see the package that you bought. There's the box, the comic book that I was talking about, which is I don't know. I hear it's rare, but then I hear, oh, I've got like 15 copies. I've got 20 copies. People tell me that they've got a bunch of them, so they're around. They're out there.
That's why it's rare.
That's why it's rare. People are hoarding them. That's right. And then that Scooby card, that's a foil. Is that?
That is right there. Yep.
Excellent. And then you've got the 2 pop-ups that are part of the game. It's kind of a fun thing to add to the game if you've got them. Makes it more 3-dimensional. They actually replace the character cards, and you can use them on your play area to move them back and forth. And they have the effects written on the pop-up there. So it plays just like a card would, and you can read it like that. And then that wrapper package there, that was some promo cards. And I say promo, I'm going to put quotes around that. It was a cello wrapped package that was available for friendly local game stores to hand out to people to promote the game. It had a couple playing cards in there, same ones that you would get in the booster packs and the starter kits, and then a couple of advertising cards in there as well to sandwich them all in. But
Ask for the game at retail locations nationwide starting in August of 2000. That's what it says.
August of 2000. Wow. Pretty cool. This game, we're trying to bring it back. It's a fun, easy game. It's a great time Saturday afternoon with the kids, or maybe you're looking for a CCG that's kind of lightweight. I joke that it's a quick game, but every game I played has ended up being kind of drawn out. But a lot of that is because we're just getting used to the rules. But it's a fun game, and if you grew up watching the show like I did, and Jonathan, I know you're younger than me, but did you watch the show when you were a kid?
I did. When I was growing up, it came on weekdays early in the morning, and we would have it on and watch it while I was getting ready for school.
Right on. Yeah, I would watch it Saturday mornings, and then like you, our local station brought it on and had it in the afternoon after school. So I would come home and watch it after school. And it's really neat to see these cards because it brings back some nostalgia, of course. Seeing some of the monsters that come with it, Minor 49er, and I just remember that would be a great drinking game because they said Minor 49er so many times in that show, it like burned into my head, and all I could hear was Velma's voice, Minor 49er, and that kind of whiny voice. But when I see the card, I'm like, oh, I remember watching that. It was so obnoxious, but what fun, So
yeah.
If you're looking for something fun that'll take you back to when you were a kid, this is a great game. Enough talk. Let's get right to it. You've got 26 packs in there, if I remember correctly.
Yes, as long as I can still count correctly.
Oh, well, I trust you, even though that's more fingers and toes than you might have. You probably got there. But, what's funny is I was talking. Of course, I want you to get the really good cards. I want you to get some foils, and I mentioned Abduction as one of the super rares, and I wanted to go get a picture of it, and so I could kind of put it up on the side so people could see it up close. What'd you get there? You paused for a second. Anything good for the game?
At the end, and these cards I don't know because I don't really know the Alien expansion cards at all. Because pretty much everything I have, maybe other than a few individual cards, were the original.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't. Let's see. Entering at your own risk.
Did you recognize any of the screenshots that they put in there? Take you back to an episode?
Let's see. Okay, I do not recognize Old Man. This one I do not recognize at all.
Oh, yeah. What does he do? How much does he cost?
Let's see. Scooby Snacks 1. It says +1, -1. If there is a monster at this location, so the Old Man adds 1 to the fright level of the location. If there are no monsters at this location, the Old Man subtracts 1 from the fright level at the location.
Interesting. You can use that if someone forces one of your cards back to the malt shop, or you split your team. Can you split your team in this, like we do in the X-Files? I don't think there's anything that says you can't. But
I don't remember the rules saying you can't. But
the
I think,
locations are pretty high in the
yeah,
fright level department. I don't think it's in your
I
best
don't think it's,
interest to try
yeah,
it.
I don't think it's possible to do them without the whole team. And
Yeah,
I
you did.
know the new rules when the Alien expansion came out, they added. Um, there's now a total to, because in the old one you just had the same team, you just had the five members of the gang. When you had the Alien expansion, you added like Crystal and some others. So now there's a limit placed on how many, what they add up to, just like in the X
Right,
Files with the
right.
agents.
So they added Amber and Crystal to this,
Yeah,
and
is that
I think this expansion kind of got into the movies or outside of the Scooby Doo. Where are you? Because I didn't
mhm,
recognize a lot of these screenshots
mhm.
or the themes there, but. I was talking about the abduction card, and I was thinking, oh, this is one that we definitely want to look out for. Uh, it says it's a super rare, and it seems to be kind of the holy grail in some of the Facebook groups. People are looking for, well, not necessarily abduction. They're looking for skeleton in the electric chair, and that one by itself is kind of a rare one. But there's a foil parallel card for it, which is the holy grail, the one that everyone is looking for. So keep your eyes peeled for that.
Ultra rare.
Yeah, the ultra rare. But with the abduction card, I went to Category
Oh,
1 games.
oh,
What do you,
there's a foil. I can't
well,
see what
okay.
it is yet, but there's a foil.
All right. Well, dig deep there and let's see what you got right off the top of the stack there.
First sighting foil.
What does the game effect there?
It costs 2 Scooby snacks. Move any friend card in play to your current location.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you've got multiple sites out on the table, because you get to keep those sites out there until you successfully investigate the mystery. If you leave a friend there or something, you could move them to some place that would be more handy. So that's pretty cool. And a foil, congratulations, that's cool. So getting back to that abduction card as an example, it's like, oh, this is one of the ultra rares. This is cool. Let's see if I can find a picture of it. And I went to Category 1 games, and they didn't have a picture, but they do have some in stock. And I was like, oh, how much is it? It's 15 cents. For being an ultra rare, it didn't carry a lot of value, but for those of you who are watching and have seen the games that we play on the channel, if you like the game and you want to get into it, the starting cost, the startup cost to get into the game is pretty cheap. You can find the 2-player starters on eBay for a reasonable price. It's a 2-player starter. It comes with the checklist and of course the rules, and 2 pretty healthy, pretty generously sized decks. They're the exact same cards, so you can combine them into a larger deck if you want. But an easy and inexpensive way to get started with a friend that you think might be interested. And the boosters they're still out there. The Alien expansion, kind of a tough one to come across, but
one just sold on eBay.
See, I don't know how I missed these. I don't know how I missed them. But
I don't. I offered them $100 and they turned me down.
$100. So
Yeah.
was it boosters or was it like
Boosters.
the collection and sleeves?
Boosters. It was a
Wow.
box. It was a sealed box of boosters, and it sold for $250.
Okay, well,
So
so maybe not that.
I'm usually willing to spend, probably more than I should, especially on, these and like X Files cards. But that was even too rich for me. I was like, man, that's a little.
That's kind of steep, and that blows my whole statement of It's
Well, just
inexpensive to
don't
get into it, but
buy the booster alien expansion box.
yeah, barring that, you can get
This box, the like you're talking about, the
the
starter
two-player starter. Yeah,
starter deck. I think I gave $20 for that, and you can buy them
yeah,
on your phone, $20-$30 all day long.
yeah, I got mine a little less than that. I always say in every broadcast I'm a notorious cheapskate, and I was able to get kind of a deal. I was stalking a couple different things and finally made them an offer and got something for cheap. But you can find it for pretty inexpensive, and the boosters aren't too bad. And gosh, yeah, I'm not sponsored by Category One Games, but I'm bringing them up enough. You'd think I was on the payroll, but apparently they have the commons, or they have the cards out there for a pretty good price. So if you're looking to get into the game, there's a couple different avenues that you can do it. Any cards standing out for you there? Anything interesting?
Uh-oh.
Do you
Oh
have
my
another foil
goodness.
already?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You were just talking about it. Skeleton in the electric chair foil.
Foil?
Foil.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not scripted. That is quite a find.
That's
You
the
know,
big one.
I say that, and then I'll probably go to eBay and it's like 20 cents.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in the collectible card game Facebook groups, that's one that a lot of people are looking for. So wow, that's great news. I'm
Yeah,
very
that's
happy
quite a
for you.
haul.
That is cool.
Obviously, this box was not cherry picked, or if it was not cherry picked well.
No, they did it poor. They chose poorly if they cherry picked it. But I was telling Jonathan offline before we started the broadcast. I used to work at Pokemon, and we found out that Jonathan told me that this wasn't a sealed box. There were a couple booster packs not included in there, and I was like, oh, I bet they cherry picked it. And the way you could do it when I was at Pokemon is that foil cards, or maybe not the foil, but they had cards that had like an etching on them, so they were had kind of a texture to them, and they weighed just like the tiniest amount more than a regular card would. So game stores would open a booster box and they would weigh the packs, and if a pack weighed just like the tiniest amount more than any of the others, then they were confident that that had one of the chase cards in it. And there were stories of collectors and other people going to retail stores, Fred Meyer or whoever, and weighing them right there on the in the middle of the store in front of God and everybody, weighing them to try and find those collector cards, those chase cards, the etched ones, the etched foil. And eventually word got back to us, and we figured out how to make the packs all weigh the same. I think they changed the grade of the paper. I'm not sure how they ultimately solved that, but I was worried that maybe someone had gone through this box. Is that the Space Ghost?
It is. Spooky Space Kook. That's one of my old favorite monsters in the show.
I think I played that one in our game, didn't I? Or maybe it was with Steven.
I don't think we played the alien expansion card.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, well, mine are kind of mixed up in my collection, so I may have included some by mistake. Did we play with the starter decks only?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe I just remember it being
That's all I had, I think.
But very cool that you got the Space Ghost, and like I was saying, it's kind of a fun nostalgia thing to see these cards and recognize some of the things in them. Anything stand out for you?
Scooby-Doo.
Oh, Alien Scooby Doo. Let me check my list. I want to say that's another tough find. Come back here. Let's see if I can find it real quick for everybody here. Alien Scooby Doo is a super rare.
Wow, this was a good box.
Yeah, and it's worth mentioning there's a foil parallel to that too. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. So yeah, you've gotten a couple really good finds there.
Do we have any idea how the arrangement of the boxes were? Like how many foils or how many ultra rares were in each box? Like we do.
I looked that up last night, and I want to say there was it was no, I don't remember off the top of my head, but I want to say it was like five foils per box, which is pretty generous, and a few super rares, and you've already found one of them at least. So we'll see if one is kind of buried down deep in there.
Of course, I guess it's possible I could have found other ones and didn't know it. That one just kind of stood out. Actually, that might
have the special ones been at the bottom. Oh, there's a character card. Who is it?
Amber. It's Amber.
Amber. Okay.
I know there's a foil of that somewhere.
Yeah. There's a parallel foil for that and for Crystal.
I might have actually saw two of I might have had another one of those alien Scooby Doos in here. Seems like I saw that and just let me look again real quick.
That would be quite the find. The person who sold you this gave up too quickly. They opened a couple packs and probably didn't find anything worth it and gave up. Any one of other of these cards that have maybe like a high cost or something that stood out for you?
Roller Skates has a high cost of 5 Scooby Snacks.
That's kind of steep. Let's see. What does Roller Skates do? Let's see if I can look it up real quick here. Roller Skates. Permanent. That's a new keyword, I think, for Alien Expansion. Attached to a member of the Mystery Incorporated, while the character has roller skates, they may not be targeted by any game effect. You may have only one pair of roller skates in play at a time. So that's a pretty good, it's a decent effect. You can only have one in there. So I think there are some cards that target specific characters. So if you think your opponent has something lined up, I know there's one that moves Freddy back to the malt shop. So if he had the roller skates, he could avoid that kind of thing. So that's a fairly decent card to have handy if you think your opponent's got it out for one of your characters. Especially you could attach that to one of the characters that has the higher bravery value, just to kind of protect them. If you get that early in the game, you can just attach that to them to protect those high value cards, keep them from being moved or removed from the game. Don't forget to keep them up on camera so we can see what you're looking through.
I'm looking right now through the ones I already did, just trying to see if I missed that one. Voodoo Dolls. But that's a cool card. It costs
Voodoo Dolls. An uncommon. Play this card at a location. Discard this card. To activate, the card decreases by 1 the bravery of all members of Mystery Incorporated except Velma. That must be episode specific. If Velma is currently at this location, this card has no effect. Oh.
How about Great? Now we know the ghost drives a truck. That one costs 5.
What's the name again?
Great. Now we know the ghost drives a truck. I don't think it's rare or anything, but it's expensive.
Interesting. I'm not finding it in the list right away. There it is. It had quotes around it, so I'll put it up at the top. No, that's a common. A monster may move from one location to another legal location. So even though it's a common, that could have some value. Oh, Joshua has made a comment here. What does he say? Roller skates remind me of Swiftfoot boots from Magic the Gathering. No matter the IP, some legends still endure. That's true.
Mhm.
Uh, there's a story there. Someone in the X Files Discord mentioned trying to create a card called Human Shield. Uh, uh, Jonathan, you'll recognize Yost's name from
Mhm.
that, and he wanted that to be part of his fan-made expansion. And I thought that was funny because in 24 there's a Human Shield card. I was like, I wonder how common that is. And I searched around. It turns out like 8 or 9 different CCGs have the exact same name, Human Shield.
There's the non-foil skeleton in electric chair.
Oh wow! Oh, you're getting
Mm.
either the people in the Facebook groups just aren't looking hard enough, or you really got a treasure chest here. But who knows? Maybe you'll be so inclined to put those on eBay. I'm going to look up that skeleton in the electric chair. Since I've hyped it up so much, we definitely need to
I
know
see
what it
another
does.
foil. Oh, Spooky Space Cook foil.
Oh, hey, perfect. The one character that you've liked so far and
Yeah.
caught your eye, and now you've got both the regular and the parallel foil. That's awesome. Congratulations to you on that find. That's pretty cool.
You know, skeleton in the electric chair is also very cheap. It only costs one Scooby Snack.
That's a steal. And let's see, as your action, you may pay a Scooby snack to raise the fright level by 1 to a maximum of 3. Effect ends at the commercial break. Now, commercial break, that's a new rule that you had to explain to me that came with the Alien expansion.
Mhm.
What do you have another foil there?
No, it's no trespassing. That might be a rare.
What does it say?
No trespassing. It's in quotes.
Okay.
No member of Mystery Inc. may move to this location while this item is attached to it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Kind of
So
a
you can
blocker there.
stop somebody from. So that's cool.
That's a pretty oh, that's a super rare,
Oh,
according to my list anyway.
there you go.
There you go. Very nice. So yeah, that Human Shield, that was kind of funny. I almost was inclined to start like a mini collection of Human Shield cards, like 8 or 9 of them, just for
Another
joking around.
skeleton in the electric chair.
Oh wow!
Not the foil, regular one.
I'm wondering if maybe some of these Facebook group people just aren't paying attention close enough. But I was going to look that up. So since I've been hyping it up so much, I'm gonna read it out while you continue to open booster packs there. So skeleton in the electric chair as your action. Oh, I did read that. Yeah, up to a maximum of 3 on the fright level. Uh, for those of you who aren't familiar with the game, uh, every site that you send Mystery Incorporated to has a fright level. What do you have there?
Spooky spaceship.
Sounds like it would go with the spooky space kook.
Mm-hmm.
But every site that you play on the field has a fright level, a certain number. I believe they're 10, 11, and 12 from the base set. Maybe the Alien expansion takes that to another level. But
I think I saw some in here up to 15.
Oh my gosh! If you see a 15, I want to see which one it is. And then the characters that you have in the Mystery Incorporated have a bravery level, and you try to have a bravery level higher than the fright level. So when there's a modifier there,
Ghost of Redbeard.
Ghost of Redbeard, is that a foil or is it just
It's
a
a regular.
regular?
I know I saw some higher. Let me see if I find one of these.
So you compare your bravery number to the fright level. And if your bravery is higher than the fright level, then you have investigated the site. If it is lower than the fright level, then you failed the investigation. The site still stays in play, and you can go back to it if you want, but you don't get the bonus of revealing a clue toward guessing your opponent's episode. Now we were looking up Redbeard. Ghost of Redbeard is a rare, and it does have a foil parallel to keep in mind. Redbeard raises the fright level of location by 5.
Wow.
Yeah, this alien expansion really ratcheted up the power creep there.
Yeah, they must have determined it was too easy before.
maybe, yeah. We got to keep our eyes out for cards that boost your bravery, because all I've seen so far are things that raise your fright level, but nothing that takes the Scooby gang, the Mystery Incorporated gang's bravery level up. Has it been when you open these boosters that the last card is usually the one that's the foil?
What it looks like it is, yeah. It looks like, and the rare too. It looks like it's the last card in the pack. That no trespassing was the last card. And of course all the foils and that Ghost of Redbeard, they've all been the last card.
Well, my Fruit Loops, my Saturday morning treat here, I haven't had Fruit Loops in forever. And don't tell my doctor, because she would not appreciate me having this sugar cereal with my diabetes. So I'm going to put it on mute for just a second.
Laura. She has a cool effect, looks like.
This is fun, eating Fruit Loops, and I'm hearing the Scooby sound effects in the background there. Watching you open these cards. What's Mara's effect?
Laura is a -2 at master locations. So she decreases the fright level, but she's -1 everywhere else. But at master location, she brings it down another level.
Interesting. I wonder what episode she was from. The name doesn't sound familiar.
No, I don't recognize her.
That's something that's missing from these cards, I've noticed, is a card number. Is there some? I don't remember there being a card number on there, and that's
no
kind of a strange omission, considering you want collectors to put them into sleeves or put them into albums with the 9-card sheets, and having those holes in your collection just drives a collector nuts and makes them want to go out and buy boosters or check the secondary market. So it's funny that they don't have a particular order. Anything catch your eye in this particular booster pack?
Shaggy is Tarzan. That's funny. If you play it costs 2 Scooby Snacks. If you play on location, Shaggy, Velmy, and Scooby all have their bravery increased by 1 while they're at that location.
Oh, that's nice. That's a good 3.
Munch Munch, Slura Munch. Scooby eats 3 of your opponent's Scooby Snacks.
Oh, that could be devastating.
There's Redbeard again. Not the foil. All right, we're down to the last 3.
Okay, well, let's cross our fingers. Hope something good comes up.
See some cool stuff. I just thought about it too. I guess it's possible that all of these packs didn't come in this box.
Yeah, since it wasn't opened, it could be. Could just be whatever he had left over.
I haven't seen that one yet. Wax Phantom. I haven't seen that yet. Let's It's the first time I've seen that card.
Now, Joshua, I think you're still out there watching. Did you grow up watching Scooby Doo, and do you have like a favorite episode or a favorite villain? Let us know. And anyone watching this after the broadcast, if you're enjoying it, please do subscribe to the channel. We're going to be playing this game more than just opening the boosters and checking out the cards. We do play the game, and it's kind of fun to watch. But if you have a favorite episode or a particular monster or character that strikes your fantasy, your nostalgia there, or if you know who Crystal or Amber are, please comment and let us all know. I'm going to look them
or
up.
Laura.
Or Laura, right?
Laura. Crystal.
There is Crystal. Is that a foil or just a regular
Crystal?
Regular Crystal character. That's cool. Oh, I was going to ask. We talked about the commercial break, and that was a rule that got introduced with the Alien expansion, and you explained it to me. What was it that is about? Do you remember
I've got the rules right in front of me. Okay. So these are the 3 rule changes.
Okay.
Additions to the original expandable card game rules. Change 1. With the addition of expansion sets, new members of Mystery Inc. will be added. The maximum bravery of your Mystery Inc. team is 10. And then it goes through an example. Change 2. If at any time you run out of cards in your draw pile, simply shuffle your discard pile and create a new draw deck.
Oh, that's new. I've just been shuffling. Yeah, just assumed. Oh, well.
All right. When the Mystery Inc. player is done investigating a location, it is time for a commercial break. Then, okay.
Yeah, there's a couple cards that referred to a commercial break, and Stephen and I didn't know what that was because we didn't understand that it was part of the Alien expansion, so we didn't have those instructions with us. But there's a few cards a couple monster cards, where you play them to a site and then they are discarded at the commercial break, so they don't stay at the site. Turn after turn after turn. You gotta make sure that no one's gonna just abandon the site.
Yeah.
I threw that question out to Joshua if he grew up playing or watching the Scooby Doo show. I didn't really watch a lot of Scooby Doo, but I liked the mystery tropes, for sure. And I was more of a Flintstones kid. I did not discriminate. I watched them all. I had a lot of time on my hands. Didn't go out a lot. So I watched a lot of TV. I was big into the Flintstones, Scooby Doo, all those. Super Friends was the big one for me on Saturday morning, watching the Super Friends and the Justice League. That was always kind of cool.
I'm pretty sure the commercial break is just like the end of the turn, where you're going to switch to the next person, and then it's because some of these cards, it's kind of like I'd say the closest thing I can think of in the X-Files maybe is your investigation phase ends immediately, and you go immediately to the end of the turn, or the debriefing phase in that case. And this pretty much it's like your turn's over if you play a card that sends you to the commercial break, but it is being specific that after you in that case, it's being specific that after you investigate one of the locations, that's the end of the turn. You can't investigate another location. It's what it's doing.
Oh, okay. So it's not in your best interest to split your team.
No, I don't even think.
If you only investigate one site per.
And I think that was the thing they were doing, because in X-Files, of course, you do that a lot, and I think they were getting specific in this that after that one is done, that's it. It's commercial break time. So
interesting. Is that your last?
This is the last one. It kind of makes you wonder why they didn't come up with something like that for the X-Files game, because that would, the whole concept of speed decks completely destroyed.
Yeah.
If you I know we're putting a limit of 2 in the tournament that they're going to play. So.
Mm-hmm.
Frozen Caveman.
This is the last one. Read the titles all out for us so we can.
Frozen Caveman. Ghost. I'll give it the old Sherlock Holmes touch. Floating Candle. Rough. What is that? Rough? I think it says rough. Mr. Weatherby.
I remember that guy.
Yeah, I remember that guy. There's been quite a few of that card in here. It's pretty common. Does the ghost know that? We're glad to get rid of him. Let go. I remember. Can you see that character? I remember that character.
I don't recognize him.
He's kind of like a
hunchback-looking guy.
Yeah. Old Fruit Cellar. It's a minor location.
Mm.
Running Dog and Colonel Shaggy.
Racist, but okay.
Yeah. And Hyde was the last card.
Hyde.
He's been in. There was another one of him in here too. I think that's the second one of him I've seen.
Well, Hyde. Yeah, he's a rare.
It's not a bad haul.
I'd say overall, you came out really on top. You got a lot of rares, a couple super rares, and more foils than you would normally get opening a box of booster packs in any other game. So I'd say there's a lot of notable cards there, especially that foil skeleton in the electric chair. That's it's kind of a big one in the collector groups around there. Any final thoughts you want to throw out there? Otherwise, I can wrap it up.
I don't think so.
No cards that stood out for you that you're definitely going to play against me, so I can be prepared for it.
Well, not yet.
Not yet.
I've got to read them and know what they say.
All right.
Ghost of Redbeard, that's definitely getting played. That thing's pretty. I mean, it increases the fright level of location by 5.
That's a tough one. Hopefully, I need to go through the cards a little closer too to see if there's something that can negate a monster or something like that. Because I don't know if there's enough effect cards and friend cards to counteract 5.
You need quite a bit of help to get by that thing.
That'll cost you a lot of Scooby snacks, especially since if you're the investigating player, you're Mystery Incorporated, and you want to try to negate those 5, you're going to pay a lot of Scooby snacks putting down cards.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do that, if you're familiar with the game, you start out as the investigating player and you get 7 Scooby snacks, 7 or 8, something like that. And
for some reason I was thinking 10, but
well, maybe it is 10. And those have to last you through both your Mystery Incorporated phase and your villain phase. So you don't want to spend them all on your investigation, on your Mystery Incorporated phase, and end up not having enough to counter your opponent when the sides flip. So that is a tough one.
I would say when that card gets played, unless you've just got something that negates, a monster.
Negates a monster altogether. Yeah.
You really that site's that location's probably just stuck. You're probably done.
Oh, I'm curious, since you got both Crystal and Amber. Do I remember that right? Am I seeing that right?
There's Crystal. Did I get Amber? Yeah, I did.
What are their game effects, just out of curiosity? And yeah, it wouldn't be Studio Sequim without my cat putting her butt right in front of the camera. Thank you for that. She's hungry. I'll take care of that later.
Amber, once game effect -3 is how much she brings to the working on the fright factor. That's more than Scooby, by the way. He brings two, -2.
Oh wow.
Once per game, you may force your opponent to discard a monster of 3 fright level or less attached to one of your locations. So that still wouldn't get rid of Ghost
It
of
still
Redbeard.
doesn't take care of Redbeard.
But 3 or less, you can knock them off. Crystal, hers is -4.
Oh wow.
And once per game, you may play one item from your hand for free.
Hmm.
Well, if you had a red beard and you needed to burn some stuff, that'd be a good one to. You had an expensive card that was,
Yeah,
that'd be a time to use that.
that's true. You have to go through your cards and find, the 2 or 3 items that would make that really worth the effect. But not too bad. Not too bad. And you said she's -4 to her bravery is -4.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's equivalent of like a Mulder or a Scully on your team. It kind of
Yeah,
eats up the
I think
cost.
the only other the one thing I see, you're probably better off with smaller ones, so you can have more of them,
Hmm.
and then you have more game effects.
Right, right, and you can afford all of it
Yeah.
unless you go for like a super lean, really thin power deck. That's I'm sure there's cards out there. I don't remember them off the top of my head, but I'm sure there's cards out there that give you Scooby snacks. In fact, I know there's one that gives you 3. I'll see if I can find the name of that while I'm talking about it. But you'd have to have something like that really kind of boosts up the number of Scooby snacks you have, so you can afford those high power ones, like Redbeard and those kinds of things. Yeah, there's eats 2 Scooby snacks. Play on our opponent Scooby Doo.
Yeah, Shaggy's only -1. I just now noticed that.
Yeah, well, he's not the bravest of the group, so
But he does allow you once per game to add 3 additional Scooby snacks.
there's that's probably the effect I was thinking of.
Fred's only a -3.
That's because
So they brought in the high power in Daphne's one. So yeah, they brought in the high power cards in the expansion.
yeah, they did. Like I was saying, they really ratcheted up the power creep on that.
Yeah.
Who knows where they would have gone with another expansion after that?
Well, you would definitely. You couldn't really play like a lot of people in the X-Files. You can play Premiere just fine against the 1013 expansion and even the extra cards in the second edition. But this thing, you'd get clobbered if you were playing just the originals versus somebody with the Alien expansion too.
Oh yeah, they would definitely have the upper hand.
Definitely clobbered.
Yeah, I don't know. That's not a very fair matchup, I don't think.
No, it would not go well.
All right, well, I'm going to let you go so you can read up, and we will schedule another Scooby Doo game now that you've got some Alien expansion. I can boost up my deck with some Scooby Doo and the Aliens 2 expansion cards, and we'll have some fun with it. Hopefully, I'll see some of those foils hit the table too. Jonathan, we don't have anything scheduled for Scooby Doo. I don't have anything with you on my channel just yet. But do you have anything coming up? Do you have any games or anything that you're going to be on?
No, the only thing I've got is the tournament, the X-Files tournament that'll start in a month or so. But I probably do have time in the next 2 weeks to play. I'm basically not working over the next 2 weeks, so.
Oh wow! Okay.
I got some time.
all right. I'm going to keep that in mind. There's a few days where I've got a weekday afternoon free. So
Okay.
if weekend doesn't work, we can slip something in. I owe you a X-Files versus system game at least one game.
Yeah, we
We
gotta do
both
that.
have that, and I've been talking about it and just haven't scheduled anything. But I made it through the rule book. It's not that big, but I'm not a reader, so and I had to read a couple times just to make sure I understood it. But I'm ready to go with that if you're into it. I would love to play another Scooby Doo game with you. Again, just you've got all these cool expansion cards, so that'd be a lot of fun to kind of mix it up and maybe take the game up a notch.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
other than that, if you were joining us live, Joshua, thank you. I know as I see another person there, it's probably my mom. Hi, mom. She's a friend of the channel. She logs in so that I can boost my viewer level up one. But anyway, thank you, Joshua, and whomever for joining us live. If you're watching this afterward, thank you very much for checking it out. I hope you're a fan of the Scooby Doo game. If maybe you weren't, oh, it's someone named Arlo Tilton. No, you're not my mom. Uh, to coin a phrase, but thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. If you're into the game, reach out to me and let's get something on the books. We can play a game between you, me, Jonathan. Jonathan, you'll recognize Alistair's name. He has a deck, or he has the starter deck, and is looking for a game. We'll try to get Madeline in on it too. I sent her the starter kit and a couple boosters, and we'll see if we can't get her to play a game with us as well. So there's a good game pool out there. Arlo, I hope I can count you in as one of those people. We'll get some games up on the site and hopefully generate some interest here. But thanks for joining. Reach out to me if you want to play a game. Reach out to Jonathan if you know Jonathan. Uh, I know he loves to play the games and loves to open those boosters, and we'll do more of that. Uh, if you enjoyed the video, definitely please give it a like, throw a comment out there. If you've got a particular card that you like, get some conversation going. And if you enjoyed this, definitely check out Studio Sequim and subscribe to the channel. There's going to be more Scooby Doo coming. 24, the card game. I say that, and a lot of people don't even know that that game existed. But yes, there is a collectible card game based on 24, the show. And I'm still chasing that card called Damn It. There's a regular card and a promo card that say Damn It on them, and I'm looking for that. So the chase continues for those, and also one that I'm pretty excited about, Battlestar Galactica collectible card game, which was a lot of fun. I played some games offline uh, with Mike, Four-Way Flashers on Comics, who's also a friend of the channel. Definitely check out his channel, Do Not Pass Go. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention Stephen Arvidsson and the Alien Investigations channel. If you're into the X-Files CCG, that is an excellent channel. I've got content here on my channel for X-Files, and he has a lot of great content on his for X-Files CCG. So if you're into that game, he puts a lot of production value into it. He really loves the game. He's got all these cool artifacts and history of that. So you definitely want to check out Alien Investigations channel as well. Other than that, I'm going to finish my Fruit Loops here, cap off my Saturday morning. And thanks again, Jonathan, for joining us and bringing these booster packs, opening them up for us and talking about the game. Really appreciate having you here.
Absolutely. I love it.
All right, sir. Enjoy the rest of your day. And for everyone else, thank you very much.